SERVOL started directly as a result of a guilt trip I was having in the wake of the Black Power riots of 1970, in which I was teaching my job at St. Mary's College, thinking I was doing a lot of good work. But when I suddenly realized nearly all the children of St. Mary's College were middle class or upper class children, and I had no direct dealings with the poor. So on the strength of that, in a moment of, I call it a moment of divine madness, I decided to just quit my teaching post, walk up the Laventil Hill, and go up to the first group of people I met and just says, "My name is Jerry Panton, I'm a Catholic priest, how can I help you?" Well, I went up there without a cent in my pocket, without an idea in my head. I didn't know where to start. So a little voice inside of me said, "Why don't you ask them how they wanted you to help them?" And I started with that, with the first group I met, a group of youngsters liming and smoking marijuana and drinking beer. And they said, "Give us a football." And somehow something inside of me rebelled. That was too easy. So some little innate stubbornness in me said, "No." He said, if you raise half the money for the football, I will raise the other half and give you a football. Now, it seems simplistic to say this, but the whole philosophy of SERVOL has been based on that ever since. We never do things without talking to the community and ask them the question, how can we help?
SERVOL does not view the lack of money as the most debilitating thing which affects people who are steeped in poverty, although it is clearly an important factor. Far more harmful, in SERVOL's view, is the sense of powerlessness and hopelessness which afflicts the poor and which renders it virtually impossible for most of them to climb out of the pit of poverty. Consequently, the entire SERVOL program is, in effect, a process of empowerment of individuals, family structures and communities effected through the delivery of holistic educational programs. This philosophy is reflected in the mission statement, which reads, "SERVOL is an organization of weak, frail, ordinary, imperfect, yet hope-filled and committed people seeking to help weak, frail, ordinary, imperfect, hope-drained people become agents of attitudinal and social change in a journey which leads to total human development."
It is generally accepted by every educational and social psychologist that what happens to a child between the ages of 0 to 3 years determines to a large extent how that child will develop. 80% of personality development of children takes place in the first 3 years. And by the time the child reaches the age of 6, it is resistant to change. We cannot wait for children to come to school to begin the assault on the cycle of poverty and deprivation. This must begin with the pregnant mother.
Baby in the family, happy, happy home. Happy, happy home. Happy, happy home. With baby in the family, happy, happy home. Happy, happy home. Again with baby. With baby in the family, happy, happy home. Happy, happy home. Happy, happy home. Baby in the family, happy, happy home. Happy, happy home.
To reach parents like this, SERVOL trained facilitators like myself Go into the remote villages and ghettos each day, going from house to house, making friends with the parents and helping them deal with their problems.
And if you get rubella, what happens when you get rubella? Rubella is German measles, right? We visit parents on a regular basis, house to house visits. We meet with parents, children, 3 years, 0 to 3 years, right? We go to the homes and encourage parents to do better parenting, how to deal with the children in different aspects. Pregnant mothers, encourage them to be positive, to deal with the children. Well, we talk on different aspects, all areas you could think about. Discipline, nutrition, personal development, self-esteem, anything to make the parent a better person.
Lucille came here a couple months ago and she told me about the SERVOL program and she was going around. And in general, she just keep telling me about the children and we discuss ideas. We exchange ideas about how to talk, how to deal with children, to read to them, and to better understand them with the education and so on. And even to better myself. Yeah, she tell us things like we could do something as young people unemployed. She tell us we could start something in the area for all the young people, a craft class.
My responsibility is to equip them with tools whereby they will go out into the communities to encourage and empower parents to practice better parenting skills, to encourage parents to enhance their own skills whereby they can earn an income or generate funds for their own purposes and to help support their families.
The purpose of what we do with the POP is to mainly enlighten the parents, particularly the mothers, because they're the ones that stay home with the children. Enlighten them on good parenting. We encourage breastfeeding. We encourage positive discipline and proper nutrition. We encourage them to read to their children.
Well, I find it's a wonderful program because it helped me in a lot of ways. And right now they're helping me to learn to read a little better and things. So it's a very good program.
The process of empowerment continues with the introduction of the parent partners. With this introduction, a parent from the village is trained and works with the parent outreach facilitator and later starts small daycare centers of their own.
SERVOL has established and supervises early childhood care and education programs throughout the country. This program involves over 300 teachers catering for nearly 5,000 children between the ages of 3 to 5. In this project, the process of empowerment is continued. The community is actively involved in the operation of the centers. Each is managed by a village board of education. All of our teachers have been carefully trained, having acquired a certificate validated by Oxford University.
All right. At SERVOL, we did the theory and we did practice teaching for 6 weeks. And here I'm back for 1 year practicing what I've learned with the children in my class.
In RTRC, what we try to do through our training program is to heighten the teacher trainees awareness of how important it is at this age, at the children they are going to be dealing with. And we focus a lot on socialization skills. So we heighten their awareness so that they can transmit that information to children in the types of activities that they do with children that we encourage a lot of social graces. We encourage a lot of respecting, getting children to be able to respect each other, respect adults, respect themselves, feel good about themselves, to know that they are special. I am special, we are all special, and we have to be able to understand and respect each other, take turns negotiating, stuff like that.
In this project, the crucial aspect is that it permits the teachers to make contact with the adults responsible for bringing up children and influencing their child-rearing skills, and so have a cumulative effect on parental practices over a period of time.
The Junior Life Center program is designed for children between the ages of 12 to 15 years old. The children at our centers did not benefit from their 7 years of primary education and are unable to find a place in a secondary school. The majority of these children come from depressed areas and are so turned off by the traditional education system that special approaches are required. Classes are small, 2 teachers to 25 students, and special props are used to teach literacy and numeracy skills to prove to them that learning can be fun. 70% of these children perform very well in the post-primary exam and then obtain places in secondary schools.
SERVOL supplies us with the teachers. We have 4 teachers here and about 50 children at any one time. The board does practically everything else. I started to come here originally to do singing with the children. I thought it would be nice just to come once a week and have some fun with them. But I would come with my little sheets of paper printed out with songs that you hear on the radio on my cassette, and discovered that lots of them couldn't read the songs they were hearing on the radio. They couldn't read the words. So I said, well, why am I teaching singing? I should be here teaching them to read. And that's how it all came about.
The Junior Life Center attempts to bring a new dimension into the lives of the children, especially given the fact that they come from the bottom rung of the socioeconomic ladder. And so the teaching has a balance of cognitive and affective. In other words, while we teach the 3 R's, a lot of what we do deals with their own emotions, their own experiences, and gives them a sense of purpose to work to attain a better standard in life. That is achieved through training of the teachers, initially through the Adolescent Development Program, and then they come to us and they do further training, a lot of which is based around counseling, human interaction resources, and that kind of interaction that gives a caring attitude to the teachers. One of the things that the students say is that they find a family atmosphere in the life centers.
Since 1973, SERVOL has been administering a school of 110 mentally challenged children. In keeping with the SERVOL philosophy, appropriate people from the community were chosen and trained. Today, these 11 people are loving, caring teachers who have enjoyed extraordinary success in dealing with the children and have been able to involve the parents in their activities.
The SERVOL Adolescent Development Program caters for young people like myself between the ages of 16 to 19.
These students either dropped out or left school functionally illiterate for one reason or another, but mostly because the overly academic approach to education was not appropriate to those interested in some form of vocational training. This program has 4 stages. Firstly, there's a 3-month intensive attitudinal program which transforms suspicious, hostile, hope-drained adolescents with battered egos and low self-esteem into confident, hope-filled young adults who have come to understand themselves through a psychosocial curriculum which includes courses in self-awareness, spirituality, literacy, emotional understanding, rap sessions, public speaking and art analysis administered by trained instructors. Most importantly, they are also exposed to training designed to alert them to the needs of their future children. During the next 9 months, they are trained in a skill of their choice from a list of 14. And after this, they received on-the-job training from private sector companies.
SERVOL has tried to uplift the young people, the youth, by doing the ADP program, the Adolescent Development Program. Kids who have failed primary school and secondary, we try to give them a second chance by making them attend SERVOL, doing the ADP program, and a skill afterwards to make them be employable.
I came here because I wanted to know more about myself, and I think about the ADP is like a step further in life. They encourage you to do certain things which is beneficial to you later on in life.
Well, I learned how to speak to people, control my anger, and all different kind of things.
Well, EDP, it's showing you real things, you know, it's showing you how to keep personal hygiene, you know. They're teaching you real things about parenting, you know, pregnancy, AIDS, all about those things, you know, things I didn't never know about, you know, and SERVOL, it really teaching you what to do and things for your life ahead.
The SERVOL High-Tech Centers came as a direct response almost to the agonizing of SERVOL over the fact that for some 20 years we had been training young people in skills. And we sort of feared that if we had just continued training tradesmen, that we would forever subject our students to be, as the Bible says, hewers of wood and drawers of water. We realized that Trinidad was moving very quickly into the world of high technology, and that if we didn't do something about it, our students would be left out of the race. And so, with tongue-in-cheek almost in 1993, we went to the Inter-American Development Bank, and we told them in no uncertain terms that we wanted them to fund a project to put up 3 high-tech centers which would allow all our students to do courses in computer literacy and electronics, and so to prepare them for the world of work and the world of high technology.
SERVOL High Tech is basically computers and electronics, right? On the electronic side, what is done, the students are trained in basic electronics, radio and television repairs, and PC monitor repairs. Also, they have what is called digital electronics, which the students have the option of going on to at the end of their electronics course.
The course entails students directly from the ADP. The course is about a year. Start them off with basic electronics. After the term concludes with basic electronics, they move to advanced electronics, which is digital electronics. The third and final term involves the computer control electronics. Computer control electronics is basically controlling an electronic device or electrical device by means of a computer. A lot of the industries right now in Trinidad and Tobago, they are modernizing or automating the plant or whatever that is. Currently, there's quite a lot of demand for these types of trainees right now in the industry. It's a very high-paying field.
The grant was for a duration of 3 years. And after 3 years, we did not spend all the money. I think it's because perhaps we managed it very well. And we asked for further extension of 2 years. And we still have not spent that money. The grant will now be extended to December 2000.
The SERVOL philosophy is now recognized internationally, with programs patterned after the Trinidad model now established in South Africa, Ireland, Grenada, and St. Lucia.
Today we are going to look at the importance of our parents, mother and father. And we are going to see what amount
I came here to Trinidad first in 1956. 1964 I came to St. Lucia, and then I went back to Trinidad again. Now, when I went back to Trinidad, I was after retiring officially from the education system. Fortunately, I met Father Jerry in Chaguanas, and he said to me, we want to start a SERVOL program in Chaguanas. And I said to him, could I be of any help? And he says, you? Sure, we're going to have you. So there and then he says, you are in charge of starting the SERVOL program in Chaguanas. And there I got my first introduction to SERVOL. 1993, the brothers were interested in a new apostolate of working with disadvantaged youth or working with youth at risk and so on like that. And I thought of St. Lucia. Saw Father Jerry and Sister Ruth, things were going well in Trinidad, but nothing happening in St. Lucia. So I asked the brothers, and I told Father Jerry, I want to go to St. Lucia. So in 1993, I headed for St. Lucia, and here I am since, working in the very same type of program as SERVOL, but we call it CARE.
Well, I got here through my aunt. She used to come to the school and she told me about it, and I did not pass the exam, so I came to CARE.
Well, the CARE program in St. Lucia has helped me motivate myself into the society. Like it helped me to interact with more people and helped me to build up my confidence.
I have learned a lot from CARE because I couldn't communicate with others very well. I have a high self-esteem now.
Well, for one, my attitude has gotten better. I learned how to I could get along better with people. Like math, English, I could do these things a lot better.
I learned like from computer, you can do many different things on computer, like catering, craft, and many different things.
I've learned how to build my self-esteem, how to respect people, why should I respect people.
Ancillary canneries, they are the neediest area that we have to go into. Here we have villages. In the olden days they were called fishing villages. But the fishing methods now make them redundant. They can't go out and dig boats and fish like that. So there's nothing for them. There's no secondary school. There are drugs, teenage pregnancy. The whole village, I would tell you, is asleep. And when we got in there 3 years ago, it was a tough fight to get even the parents to get their children to come to school and get them up in the morning and so on like that. But we have succeeded. And today, because we started the catering business, 9 or 10 of those young persons down there are now in the catering business. So they're now working.
NULO is a life skills and vocational skills training center, which started in 1984. Before it started, advice was sought from Father Pantin and the SERVOL family in Trinidad. And she said because of the history of SERVOL, which was the start of SERVOL, which was similar to the situation that was probably occurring in Grenada around that time, and also because of the reputation of SERVOL. Every person who comes through the door does the 3 months adolescent development program, where we work on the SPICES approach: spiritual, physical, intellectual, creative, emotional, and social development. And following that, they are allowed to do 1 or 2 skills. Each skill area is 6 months long. There are 13 skills altogether. Fisheries is one of the ones we added fairly recently. And to go with that, we have a training vessel. And it was thought necessary to add that skill as well as basic electronics, because those are the areas that are kind of growing in the island at the moment. So there are job opportunities in those areas.
A little reflection will reveal that every program offered by SERVOL brings the same message to its participants. You are not alone in your struggle. We will empower you to take your life in your hands and to dare to hope for a successful outcome.
We hope that when students leave our program, first of all, they leave the program with a sense of power over their lives, that they feel that they are somebody, that they are important. We hope that we have, through the programs, built up their self-esteem and their confidence, because a number of them who come to us have been deemed failures all their life. They have failed and failed and failed, and so we have to make them know that the reasons for their failures probably didn't come from anything they have done. It came from the circumstances in their lives, sometimes from poverty, sometimes from just situations in which they couldn't function. A lot of them had emotional problems, a lot of them had domestic problems. And so we give them a sense of being able to overcome problems and to take their lives into their hands and to move forward.
I've had 3 trainees for the last 3 months. My experience with them is that they're coming to us in a very professional manner, in the sense that they are well trained. They come with a positive attitude towards working and adopt a very calm and very suitable attitude towards their job.
Our philosophy is built on beginning by attentive listening to the needs of the people. In other words, don't presume you know what they want, or don't say you really need this and we should work for it. You have to listen to them and start where they want to start.